You're listening to the P2E-Cast, sponsored by PlayToEarn.net, episode number 4 coming at you guys. I'm CopperPitch with K Street joining me. We talk about all the latest news in the GameFi space. We talk about what we did in the past week, what's going on, what's the current news, and we're gonna break down a topic every week as well. This week we're gonna be talking about the Guild of Guardians beta that we both got to play in. So we're gonna dive into that in just a little bit. But first, K Street, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited. Fourth episode, man. We've been doing it for almost a month now, so this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Just big shouts to everyone listening. Really, we've heard a lot of good feedback. I don't know. It's been really awesome. It's the first time I've been doing this, so the positive feedback is much appreciated. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. And what did you get up to this week in the world of blockchain gaming?
A few things. The first thing that I guess early in the week we found out that Starknet was going to be airdropping us some tokens. You probably know more about it than me, but I'm just happy to be here.
Well, I don't know all the details yet. We just know that if you've used Starknet, anything that is on the Starknet platform, which basically is like Immutable, Didex, Seller, Diversify, Argent, others, but namely Immutable for all of us people who play Gods Unchained. That's probably where a lot of you guys have come from and where you know us from. So if you play Gods Unchained and you've traded any cards on the Immutable X platform, then you'll qualify for this free airdrop of Starknet tokens. And Starknet
That's true.
is,
And Guild of Guardians players, like anything IMX, right? So if you bought land in Alluvium, who knows? But there's probably a fair amount of us that are going to qualify, which is exciting because I never qualify for these things because I don't do DeFi and like all that kind of stuff. I'm not hip to it, so I miss out on a lot of these airdrops. But this one I get.
yeah, and this like so they're also an L2 on Ethereum, very similar to these other platforms. So I'm not 100% sure how they all correlate and how it all will break down and work out. But effectively, you need their token, I think, to make transactions on their network. So not 100% sure how much tokens we'll be receiving or when that will be. But allegedly, the snapshot date was June 1st. So if you've made any trades on Immutable before June 1st, then you should qualify for a nice little chunk of free tokens.
And free tokens is great motivation to understand what Starknet is, right? So you get some free loot. Let's go find out. So we'll do that.
Absolutely.
All right. How about you? What's one of the things you got into?
Ooh, so Immortal Game is a chess game that is on Immutable. And they just did their unboxing today. So you could purchase NFT boxes of chess pieces effectively. And tonight I was able to unbox my I only bought one box, but I got a chess piece. I don't think it was very good. I probably can't sell it for more than I bought the box for. I probably shouldn't have opened it. I don't regret it though. I like supporting little games on Immutable, and it's a chess game. I love chess, and it's an interesting concept where basically each piece has its own set of criteria. So the piece that I unboxed was you need to win a game with 4 of your pawns still alive. And if you accomplish that, then you gain like these type of points, and the points kind of correlate into tokens eventually once their tokens come out. And so the idea isn't just to win, but perhaps to also maybe be the first person to capture certain pieces. Like if you're the first person to capture both knights or the first person to capture a bishop, or you need your queen to capture 3 pieces and win the game or something. So there's all kinds of different like quests almost within the game, which I think is really important because as we know from Gods Unchained, bots are a huge issue in this space. And I have no earthly idea how Immortal Game is going to stop bots from just ravaging the entire ecosystem.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. And I was going to ask, I was like, are these like, did you unbox a purple pawn and I'll get a green pawn? Like, I didn't understand how it fit in, but that's really cool at all. I love the alternate win conditions, and you're probably playing to lose as long as you get those 4 pawns and like, get, whatever it is. That's really great.
Yeah, it should be interesting with the alternate win cons. I'm not 100% sure yet if that will be like the whole game is you need to really just focus on, you basically you can choose 4 special pieces per game to have their 4 quests. So you can like choose when the game starts, you can pick which pieces you want to use
Hmm.
for their quests, and then each varying degree of difficulty gives you more or less of your points that you earn for playing the game. But yeah, I, bots can definitely just win chess games outright very easily, and it's very difficult to detect. There are some very advanced systems. Maybe they'll have to pay for really advanced systems. I don't know. Um, but yeah, I don't know how many bots will be programmable to be like, you need to win with 4 pawns, or you need to do X, Y, and Z. So
Yep.
it'll be interesting to see how they are able to tackle this. But I'm along for the ride. I love chess, not like I love chess. I'm a chess player. Um, I actually have a USCF rating and play in the chess federation. Although it's been a while since COVID
Well,
started,
that's
I got
pretty
shut
exciting.
out.
I am terrible at chess, so remind me never to play against you.
I was decent, and then I kind of stopped playing for quite some time now, or a couple years since COVID. But I was playing over the board tournaments, and it was a lot of fun. So I'm excited for Immortal game, but and yeah, there'll be description links in the description below. So if you guys want to check out immortal.game, it's in the description below. You can check it out. But yeah, like I said, it's early. They have been paying, I believe, paying a lot of ambassadors, like big name chess players, to actually play the game. So, like, it seems pretty legit to me because they're actually going out and getting. I mean, so far, like they have a list of ambassadors that they've had play like tournaments and stuff, and the list had some pretty big names.
Oh,
So,
cool.
yeah, it seems legit, but again, it's early. Who knows? None of this is endorsements.
Right. Yeah.
We're just hanging out playing stuff.
Yeah. Everything's so early. Like, that's the big
Yeah,
theme. Like,
right.
P2E-Cast, subtitle, we're early.
We we are very early. That actually
Yeah.
brings up another game that we both checked out this week. It was called Legends Reborn, and it was on Gala Games, and
And we're
it was
early. We're very
yeah,
early.
it was a rough demo. It was so basically it's a card game, and it was really cool that it had 3D art, like aspects to it where like the cards kind of generate creatures and stuff. Like their trailer looks amazing, and I think if they can match their trailer with the gameplay itself, it will be incredible. Currently, to me, it felt a little confusing. Like I think it suffers from the developers didn't have, and this kind of maybe what it is a playtest, but like the developers didn't have other people who don't know how the game works playtest the game to like give the feedback of like I don't know what's happening. Like when you develop a game yourself, you know everything, so you just assume everyone knows everything.
Yeah.
So it was a little rough for me to get into it, but
It had,
again,
I
like it had
thought,
some really
some
cool ideas.
interesting, it had some interesting aspects.
Yeah.
Attacking gave you spells. Their kind of initiative system was cool. So I think there are some things that are positives, but yeah, definitely one to kind of let marinate a little bit longer and come back to, and we'll check it out. But so definitely
Yeah.
not bad, but just didn't really like. I probably won't play it for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. And it's on Gala Games, and you guys can check it out yourselves, see what you think. It might be your cup of tea. I think, like K Street said, I think give it a little time, and if they can polish it up, it seemed like it could be a really cool game.
Yep. Yep.
But
All right. What's this cardboard live thing?
so Gods Unchained is introducing a new tool for streamers and people who watch over on Twitch. And so they have Cardboard Live. Uh, Basically 2 years ago, Cardboard Live stopped into my stream, and I was like, "Are you guys the real Cardboard Live?" And they were like, "Yup." And I was like, "Holy smokes! It'd be so cool if you guys did Gods Unchained." And they were like, "Yeah, we're just here scoping it out." And then I never heard from them again. But basically, I had seen them. The reason I was like, "Is this the real like Cardboard Live?" It was because I had seen them. They make like plugins for Hearthstone and other games, where basically if you're watching on Twitch, you can hover over your mouse over the cards in my hand and it will actually like bring up the text for you. You can hover over the void and it actually shows, what cards are in the void. You can hover over the deck and get the deck code.
That is
So
amazing. That's like magic to me, but that's really cool.
yeah, there's one for Magic the Gathering as well. And there's like I think there might be like two different companies maybe that do this. But Cardboard Live is the only one I think I know by name who does it for Twitch. And I haven't seen it in action yet. But tomorrow night, so that today, Thursday, the day your guys are watching this, I will be streaming it for the first time. And we'll see how it goes. I'm very excited. I think it should add a lot of interactivity to Twitch. I've literally been on streams before where I'm hosting a tournament and like with the co-host and the co-host to be like, oh, yeah, can you mouse over mouse over the void? And it's like,
Nope.
no, this isn't my game. I can't mouse over their void. Like that's not how this works. And so, yeah, people are always, wanting to get more information while watching on Twitch. And now they finally have the ability to do so. And like deck codes, like that's something I get asked. I mean, I literally have a command in Twitch, !deck to try and like send people over to my GU decks website to find my most recently played deck. But even that might be wrong if I haven't played a game with it yet. So now there's a way for people to actually live see what the deck code is. It does raise some stream sniping questions, but if you're doing it on Twitch and you're the one, enabling the plugin, I guess you're asking for it. I wouldn't recommend doing it during weekend ranked. I guess maybe if you're on a delay, it's totally fine. And you're doing weekend ranked on a delay, most people do. I get are 50-50 maybe.
Does it
So I
work
don't
on a
know.
delay?
Yeah, that's a good question too. I was actually thinking about that as I was saying it, and I assume it does, but I could be wrong. Again, I haven't seen the actual tool yet. So basically, I believe I'll need to install something. Any streamer who wants it will be able to install something, and then the viewers don't need to do anything. They just show up and can actually just check it out. And
So what
so,
you're telling me is this might be enough to give you the edge you need to get back into Mythic.
well, if someone's sniping you, then it would help them get you back into Mythic. Um,
But
it's not
you're
going to
doing a
help me
stream
any.
tomorrow where you're going to give away something if you get back into Mythic, right?
That's true. So tomorrow night, first of all, I think that their GU is going to be doing a stream at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. So I'm going to be streaming from 6 until 8:30. We're going to raid on over there, and they're going to explain like how streamers and stuff can install and like set stuff up. And then I don't know if I'm allowed to say this or not, so don't tell them that I said this, but I'm going to be on their stream for the second half, I believe, of the Gods Unchained official stream. So I'm pretty excited for that. So if you guys want to
Very
check that out,
cool.
make sure you check that out. But during my stream, where I'm going to be revealing it and playing with it for the first time, I will be giving away a Highborn Knight to a viewer. So we gave away a Highborn Knight yesterday on stream or on Monday on stream, and I'm going to be giving away another one on Thursday. And those were courtesy of Carnival Big Top. So big shout to Carnival Big Top for hooking us up with some sweet, sweet prizes to give
He is
away.
fantastic.
Yeah, and those are worth like 0.1 ETH each. So it's no small potatoes. Is that a saying? No small
I think that's
potatoes?
right.
Yeah, that sounds like a
Carnival
thing.
gives lots of good financial advice on
Mm.
Discord. So if I ever get wrecked, he's the one to blame. Just
Yeah,
kidding, man. Just kidding.
he's a very smart guy, very smart,
Yep.
very shrewd investor type. But he's also a player. He's came up with some cool decks that I was playing
Yeah.
this week. So big shouts to him. We love Carnival.
Now, did you want to
Um,
talk about the other GU news for next week?
oh yeah, so next week in GU news, the first Council of the Gods meeting is going to be taking place. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday. So I will be streaming it, I believe, so long as I'm allowed. They haven't said I can't, so I plan on streaming the entire meeting. I believe their plan is to also stream it. So you should be able to check out the official or my stream or both and see what the meeting is all about. We don't fully know how it's going to go. No one has seen these meetings yet, so we don't really know what the plans are. They did post something in the Discord recently.
Yeah.
I don't know if you have that up. Um, but basically, they said something to the effect of uh, it will be so the community can kind of talk to Squishy and Eclipse, who are the community managers, and they'll see what information they can gather up. So I don't know how much information we'll get or how much impact we'll have. It remains to be seen what these meetings will be, but the list of 15 people was announced, and I'm on it. So I'm going to be on the council, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. It's 15 people who are passionate about Gods Unchained in a meeting together. What could go wrong?
Now, I did double dare, and then I raised the stakes to double dog dare for Eclipse to do a temperature check on Dralamar. She did acknowledge that the stakes were raised, but she never followed through. So I don't know. Take that as you will, but it's a tough sign. Tough sign. Hopefully the council meetings go a little bit better.
Yeah, for me, I think the two things that I would bring up, number one, sealed mode needs to happen, needs to be done in a month. It can't be longer. The game is hurting for it badly. And number two is probably balance with all of the OTK decks, not just Dralamar. They really someone on stream tonight summed up I said like the meta is basically like OTK decks from hand, and someone was like, that's basically like how you could sum up all of like Mortal Judgment, the most recent set. It's just all OTKs from hand, combo. So those are the two biggest things that I think need to be addressed, but we'll see what the other 14 members of the council have to say.
Cool. All right. So we want to transition and talk a little bit about the Guild of Guardians beta that we did. So it's kind of winding down, kind of wrapping that up. Why don't you share some of your initial thoughts, and then I'll let you know what I think too.
Yeah, so Guild of Guardians, I didn't get in the initial beta, and it was because my phone was too old, apparently. And I was like, I thought a Pixel 3 XL would be fine. And then they let me in anyway. I used my Pixel 3 XL, and it was really, really laggy. It was just so laggy. And I've been meaning to get a new phone anyway, so I picked up a new phone just for the beta.
Oh, wow.
That's not entirely true. Let's just say it's true. Makes it sound like I'm more passionate about it. It's actually half true, though. Like, legitimately, it was the impetus for me to finally
You were leaning to it, but then that pushed you over the edge.
Yeah. So I picked up a new phone. Now it runs nice and silky smooth. So I was kind of shocked that a 4-year-old phone, which is pretty powerful still, it seems like a really good phone. I know 8 years ago, a 4-year-old phone would have been really bad, but these days it seems like there's only minor enhancements every year. So anyway, my point is I was kind of shocked that it ran so poorly on a 4-year-old phone. I was also trying to screen record at the same time, though, so it was really straining the device.
That'll do it.
Yeah. Anyhow, specs aside, on a Pixel 6 Pro, which is what I have now, it runs nice and smooth. And so my initial thoughts are, as a mobile game, it is very polished. It's clear that they're like a AAA studio. It's maybe the most polished gameplay for any blockchain game that I've seen yet. That being said, it was also a little bit boring. And I have a bunch of ideas. I have a bunch of ideas for how to address that, so I'll go over them in a minute. But first, I want to hear what your initial impressions were and how you found the game.
Yep. So just for listeners' frame of reference, I played on an iPhone X, which is maybe like 3 years old, and that ran fine. So if you're kind of in that 2 to 3 year ballpark, you're probably going to be fine, like I was. I had a very similar reaction, which, I played the first one. The first one did require you to kind of get some new heroes, get the latest and greatest equipment. There was the difficulty ramp was harder. And I think the big thing with this one was it was just a little too easy. Like, you just kind of like cheesed through it, which on some hand, I guess, that might make sense. Test the systems, test the gameplay, not really want you to struggle. they're not giving away GOG tokens for doing it this time, right? So there's no grind. But I felt like it took away from the sense of, okay, I do need to grind this a little bit just to feel myself getting more powerful to overcome some obstacle. It really wasn't that. You're basically just like running through each room and kind of killing everything. The other thing, of course, though, that I always try to give them the benefit of the doubt is on a play test like this, all of the kind of bigger picture systems aren't there, right? Like the guild system, the crafting, the camaraderie, like working towards a goal, like all that's missing.
Yeah.
But the play test that we were given, we all had to do a survey and give feedback. My pieces of feedback was it was a little dull, I think because it was a little too easy. And the other one was, I agree with you that I think this was a really polished game. It looked really well, or it looked really good. But I don't think it was quite the AAA that they're shooting for. But I think they obviously have the talent on the team to get there. So I'm confident that they will. But it was just little things here and there weren't quite top notch. So they were really great after the first. So like between the first beta and the second, they incorporated so much feedback and so many things were better. My favorite thing that was improved was the ultimate system, right, where it kind of slowed down the game, let you line it up. So that was huge feedback from last time they implemented it. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this. But yeah, it was a little slow.
Yeah, I think to follow up on the dull comment, that it was I never had a full party wipe ever.
Yeah.
Like it was just easy. I think, and they said it's not the final difficulty, so it's not really a good judge of how hard it's going to be. And obviously you don't want it to be too hard to the point where you're just like failing every time. But it felt like it could have been a little bit more difficult. And then it just also felt that there wasn't that much to do in each level. So some of the things I thought were really cool were like the traps. Like there's like axes that are swinging back and forth. You have to like dodge through those. There's like steam vent type things that are like blowing steam on you. Like so there's like different types of traps and stuff that you actually have to dodge through. But unfortunately, you only control one out of 4 characters. And the other 3 characters just walk willy-nilly right through the traps behind you and get injured. Like they actually take damage.
Yep.
And there's nothing you can do about it. And I thought that was really bad. Like that was the most glaring issue for me, was that it just kind of seemed like, why do I have these 4 other, or the 4, I need a party of 4. Why do I have these 3 other random people following me around? Why are they taking damage when I can't control them to like dodge through a swinging back and forth? But it would also be a pain in the butt if you had to like pause each one individually and then like move one through, go to the next one, move the next one through. So I don't know what, I think the answer is just they shouldn't take damage, but then maybe that's too easy, or maybe they take damage if you take damage.
Yeah, I would say there's something better. Like either make them immune to trap damage, or if your main character takes damage, like you said, spread it across the team so it's kind of like a group takes a hit. I think there are things they can do to make that better. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so that was kind of my one big like, and because it would happen with every trap. It was just like my people were just like, we don't care. We love axes hitting our face. Like, what? This is a problem? How?
My thing in the level, like the gameplay in the level, this might be just like a minor quip, but you run into a new room and you don't run in far enough and there's just nothing there. And it's like, oh, I need to run in a little bit further. So like you run into the center of the room and now they all spawn. I think it would just be a little bit more immersive if they were already there, right? Like, you could do things like have the tanky enemies like at the door and have the archers behind them, and then you have to like dodge over the tanks. Like that could really improve the fun factor. Even if they're like spawning just a little bit before you get there, right? So that it looks to you like they were there the whole time. I think there's probably just a little bit better immersion there. I know it's a minor thing, but it's a little jarring to each room you go in, you like wait a half second for them to spawn in, and then you fight them. So that's a thing to improve.
Yeah, and to piggyback on that, and to tie it back into the traps, one of those rooms where you kind of like need to go all the way in order for things to spawn are like trap rooms, and you basically have to run like and stand underneath like the axes swinging back and forth, and then kind of fight underneath the axes too.
Yeah, just constantly getting hit in the face with it. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't like that at all. And so I can, on one hand, tie this to a game that I've been playing, a AAA game that is not crypto whatsoever. And I think it's fair in some regards because these games need to be polished and they need to be
Yeah.
AAA. Like it shouldn't be crypto first and then gameplay second. It needs to be the game is so fun that people don't care that it's NFTs that they hate. They'll try it anyway. It needs to be so good that crypto is just it happens to be part of the game. It can't be, well, we've got great tokenomics and like our economies are going to be great and you're going to like no, it has to be
Yeah.
gameplay first. So even though some people might be like you can't compare a like Returnal is the game I'm going to be talking about because Returnal is what I've been playing it nonstop. As soon as we're done doing this podcast, I'm going to go play Returnal.
I'm gonna
I'm
have to check it
obsessed.
out.
It's so good. It's a shooter, but it's a roguelike. And but basically you go into a room, things spawn, you fight them. But sometimes you go into a room and it's like a trap room and it's just traps. And sometimes you go into a room and like maybe there's like a chest to open or like things to like kind of level up. I think that there could be a lot of like right now, every room in Guild of Guardians was the same. It was just you
Mm.
go into the room, you wait for the stuff to spawn, you kill the stuff. It should be, in my opinion, you go into a room. Okay, this room has bad guys. Okay, this room has traps. Okay, this room has like chests. I really think there should be some type of chest system within the level. It seemed very dull to me that there wasn't. And then when you finished the level, you were automatically granted one piece of equipment, whether it was like a boot or a hat or a whatever. It was kind of like what? Why
Yeah,
did I
that's a
get
really
this?
good point. It would be
Oh,
nice to have like even if it was the exact same as now, except after you killed the last boss, a chest spawn that you opened. Like
yep.
even that would probably be preferable. But yeah, like having some randomness to the rooms would be cool.
Yeah. So that was kind of the major thing that I felt was just it felt too samey. It was like every room's the same, every level's the same. The environments look great, and
Yeah.
I got through the first three, and like they all look vastly different. So there's about like 10 levels, let's say, per environment, and then you are on to the next environment. And like they all looked great, but they all felt too samey. And so the other thing that I think was really missing for me was if it's not a roguelike, which it's not,
Mm.
there are specific levels and environments and stuff like that that you go through. There should be a story. And that story could be as simple as like as Mario, you're trying to get to the castle to find the princess. Oh no,
Yep.
the princess is in another castle. I mean, that's like the most basic storytelling in video game history and people love it. But like right now, there was no impetus, and maybe this is something that they're planning on adding or already have added, and the beta was strictly just to test, combat systems or whatever. But it really lacked like a driving. I felt no drive to continue after I got to the third environment because it was just like, okay, this is still just the same. You run to the next room, spawn some stuff, kill the stuff. There was no challenge because they had the difficulty too low. So
Yeah.
it got old. So I think story would definitely help carry it. I think randomness in rooms or just variations from room to room.
Yep.
Even like having a key and then a locked door and maybe branching
Uh,
paths where you have to find a key first and then you can go through the door. Like anything.
the old Doom gimmick, it works.
Yes, exactly. Doom, perfect example. But yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that's yeah.
So I do want to leave them on a positive note because I
Yes.
was overall, I would say like, at the end of the survey, they ask like overall, how was your experience? Is it like below a 5 or above a 5? Mine was definitely above a 5. I think I gave them like a 7 or something like that. Like I am very encouraged. And one thing I actually noticed, I didn't really notice how good the game looked because of the small screen that I was playing it on, right? Like it's a mobile game, right? But when I did the screen record and then like put it up on Hive, and it was kind of like big screen, I was like, wow, this actually looks really nice. I kind of want to like pull my iPad out or something, right? And like play it larger. And the really
Mm.
cool thing I've seen on Twitter is, I don't know why I didn't think about this, but like people just, connect their Xbox controllers over Bluetooth. And one person had this like Xbox controller plus like a mounting thing with their phone on it. So it was like this self-contained mobile and I was like, oh man, this is going to solve all of my like screen touching issues. Because, you know, like this swipe to dodge is a little hit or miss for me. It's probably just my problem, honestly. But, you know, if I'm using an Xbox controller to play, it's going to feel so much more responsive. So that's going to be really great. So I was really impressed with how it looked, especially as it like blew up on a big screen. It was really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it looked fine on my phone. My phone's pretty big, but I think like I also screen recorded. I was going to do a YouTube video. No offense, the game was a little bit too boring of gameplay to it's just kind of mashing attack. But I agree with you. I just want to clarify that I think it was, again, I said it earlier, that I think it was the most polished, best crypto game experience. Like it's clear where they're headed
Yes.
is the right direction. And I think with just some minor tweaking, like they can legitimately have like a huge hit on their hands.
Yep. I
So
feel the same way.
yeah. Just want to clarify that I'm not trying to be like it's all negative. There's nothing good about it.
Yeah.
Like it looked great, it played great, and then obviously the difficulty, that's an easy setting. I'm sure that they can just, tweak a couple numbers and then maybe add a few more things like chests and, trap rooms and kind of separating things a little bit better and yeah, I mean, maybe do another demo test again, get more feedback. It seems like like you said, you were in the first demo. They took a lot of the feedback, they
Yeah.
implemented it. So if they can do that again, I mean, yeah, I think sky's the limit.
Cool.
So yeah, so that's gonna do it for this one, right?
That's all I've got.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening to episode 4. We'll be back again later with more P2E-Cast. Thanks for listening.
Bye, guys.